Because it's zoned for industrial use, we can't have a dispensary here. And it's very frustrating to see this happen, especially when City Hall is having a meeting in a couple of days to talk about how to increase cannabis access in the downtown east side. And here we are serving the downtown east side community for 10 years. We provide a large amount of free cannabis for the High Hopes Foundation and the Cannabis Substitution Project. We try to make sure everybody in this area can get access to quality cannabis, whether they can afford it or not. And so to shut us down very aggressively while at the same time saying that they need more cannabis access to the downtown east side seems rather hypocritical to me.
I know, I'm one of the original members, and I remember when it opened up. I remember when Dana fought. I remember the BC Compassion Club. I remember all of it. This is wrong. This is our culture. You cannot take a 10,000 year medicine away from the public by the government. It doesn't belong to you. It actually belongs to the poor people for their healing because they can't afford your medication. It should be our choice under a charter right what we use and how we use it. And I feel that by this closing, you're charging my access. I cannot access my medication. It's in my neighborhood, and that's wrong. So wrong. Bad. Shame on you, Vancouver. Shame.
We've had a lot of other dispensaries shut down in the city too. There's, those over 20 that were beginning with this court case, and only a few of us are left. Weeds is shutting down. There are 5 or 6 locations today. Green Cross, which is the second oldest dispensary in the city, they're also shutting down today as well. So I don't think it's just about me. I think it's about these bad bylaws that were written by Vision Vancouver long before legalization was going to be happening. They wrote them to be very strict and very harsh, and I believe this current city council should be revisiting these bylaws in the context of legalization. Things have changed dramatically in Canada since these bylaws were written, and a very few easy changes would make things a lot better. The rule about 300 meters away from schools and community centers, whereas liquor stores only have 150 meters. That wouldn't affect us here, but that simple change, making it the same as liquor stores for dispensaries in terms of how far they are from youth, would allow a whole bunch of places to remain open. If they change the rules so that being in an industrial zone doesn't mean that you can't have a dispensary, we'd be able to stay open here. There's a bar right across the street. Why can a bar be in an industrial zone but a cannabis dispensary can't? It makes no sense. So very simple changes to these bylaws. We're not asking for huge changes or big, like a huge difference or special permits. We're asking to be treated similarly to liquor stores, and I think we should be treated much less strictly than liquor stores because medical cannabis is not like alcohol, but even making it equivalent to how we deal with alcohol would allow us and many others to stay open. I think it's a real serious problem we're facing here.
That's not okay. They shut down how many? 70 dispensaries, and they got 4 legal dispensaries.
Yeah.
And it's triple the cost to get your medicine, and they add chemicals and all this garbage to your medicine. They're destroying our planet.
We provide medical cannabis at this location. The legal cannabis shops can't talk about the medical benefits of cannabis. If you go into the legal shop and say, I need help sleeping, or I've got pain, or how can you help me treat my cancer, or I've got AIDS, what do I do? They're not allowed to answer those questions. They have to tell you, we can't talk to you about that. That's a huge disservice. People need to be able to have conversations with people who can guide them on their cannabis use, on their medical cannabis use. We can do that here. We also provide a lot of products here that are not available from any of the legal shops. Suppositories, CBD capsules, creams and topicals. These things aren't available through the legal system yet. And considering the way they've dealt with buds, it could be many months or years before these kind of things are there. And having to turn away cancer patients and tell them, sorry, I can't sell you suppositories here anymore, is really heartbreaking for us to have to do that. And to have to turn away local people who need cannabis as a substitute for opioids or for whatever reason. It's very difficult for us to have to do that. Talk to City Hall, call the mayor, call City Council, tell them that you support local dispensaries, you want these bylaws to be changed. There's going to be a meeting coming up at City Hall. If you go to vancouver.ca, you can find the time and date for that, where they're going to be talking about cannabis access in the downtown east side. Register to speak at that meeting and talk to them and tell them how we need cannabis in this area and how our dispensary was serving that community. And we are calling this a temporary closure. We are hoping to reopen and start selling cannabis again one day soon. We still have court battles that are ongoing at the federal and provincial courts, and we think it's likely that we're going to win one of those court battles and have the legal status to be able to reopen and begin cannabis sales again. But until that time, we're not selling cannabis here anymore.